Okay, we're talking about pre-washing our fabric. So, to pre-wash or not to pre-wash? That is the question. Some people do and some people don't. I, for one, always do. The benefit is that pre-washing removes chemicals and sizing, which is good for items made for children and those with allergies. If you don't pre-wash and are using nylon or polyester thread and cotton fabric, the fabric will shrink, but the thread doesn't. So if you happen to be sewing a lining into a project and it's not pre-washed before sewing, then they may shrink in different amounts and you may end up with a very out of shape item. So if you're sewing a garment, you should pre-wash so the finished size does not end up a size or two smaller than you intended. Nobody likes that. On the other hand, if you're making a quilt and you can't spare an inch, then you may not want to launder it first. Reds, blues, and purples tend to bleed onto lighter colors, and that can be bad. Pre-washing intense colors helps to get rid of the excess dyes. If you have a fabric that bleeds or just makes you nervous, you may want to pre-treat it before washing using a color fixative called Retain. Color catchers help when first washing a project that was not previously washed. Cottons can shrink. Laundering before piecing a quilt or embroidering helps to reduce that problem. With flannel, definitely wash and dry before using. It shrinks a lot, and so does linen. So how to launder the fabric? You can use pinking shears or a pinking rotary cutter on a raw edge, or zigzag stitch the edges, or serge the raw edges. Check the end of the bolt when you purchase your fabric. It will give the care instructions on it for washing and drying. Dry on cotton or permanent press setting. Iron using starch or best press. Starch if desired. Washing fabric relaxes the fibers and it will no longer feel as crisp as it was before you threw it in the wash. Starch can help fabric resume its crispness and stabilize the threads for cutting and sewing. To test for color fastness, I have used this test on fabrics that made me nervous before I used them. So you cut a small square of the fabric in question. Soak it in cool, soapy water for a half hour. If the water is clear, lay the wet fabric on a paper towel. If the towel is still white after the fabric dries, it should be okay to use. So let's pink those edges or serge them and wash our fabric.